Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I am the Get Fit Guy. Skiing and snowboarding are super fun and extremely exciting winter activities, but they are also demanding physical activities that can pose some risks. Without the proper preparation and training, you may not be able to keep up with your friends, or worse yet, you could get injured. Since the majority of us can only ski or snowboard for a few months of the year, and because sports like this use some pretty specific and unique muscle groups, well, it can be hard on the body the first time you hit the slopes each year. Staying upright and staying safe as you hurtle down the hill involves strength, endurance, balance, and agility. So it's easy to get exhausted if you're not physically prepared. To avoid injury, excessive soreness, and potential FOMO, fear of missing out, it is important to take some time to prepare your body for at least a few weeks before you head to the slopes. To that end, here are a few areas of fitness that you should focus on to make sure that you're ready for the big day. The first area is the legs. It is critical in snow sports, downhill or not, to build strength and stamina in our leg muscles, especially if we want to be able to stay on the hill for a full day. Our legs are indeed the most involved muscle group, so it is vital that we focus on them at least 2 days per week in the lead up to ski season, and also throughout the season. Our quadriceps on the front of your legs are arguably the most used muscle group in our legs while skiing and riding, because the quads hold you in position, give you stability, and protect your good old knee bones from excessive compression. Also, while swishing your way down the hill, you will typically hold your body in a mostly flexed position, leaning forward from the hips. This requires strength from your hamstrings and glutes, so make sure you add those into the mix as well. The next body part you should focus on is your arms. Having some good strong arms will help you skiers push off with your poles while remaining stable in your shoulders. Strong arms will also help with pole planting and will make traversing across those flatter areas of snow easier, which comes in handy when you're lining up for the chairlift or heading to the chalet for an après beverage. Having good arm strength also helps snowboarders with their balance and stability and, well, can also save your face when you catch an edge. For this purpose, your shoulders and triceps on the back of your arm are where you will want to spend the majority of your arm strengthening time. And the next area you should focus on is your core. Strong abdominals and stable lower back will help to support your spine while you're going down the slopes. This becomes even more important and apparent when you're skiing or snowboarding down some steep hills or in deep powder or on moguls. Think about that flexed and bent over position that you get into when you're skiing or boarding. As you can imagine, your back has to work hard to keep your spine protected from injury. A strong, well-conditioned core is key. And remember that your core is comprised of your abdominals, your obliques, your lower back, and your hips, not just your six-pack. So you will want to strengthen them all with both targeted and multi-joint exercises, and we'll get to that in a bit. The next area you will want to focus on is your balance, your flexibility, and your agility. Obviously, both skiing and snowboarding require that you have good balance, so you can remain in that upright position, at least most of the time. After you manage to get yourself off the chairlift, there is the ever-varying surface of the snow to contend with. The type of snow changes many times on the way down the hill, from maybe powder at the top to ice at the bottom, and likely some hard-packed stuff right there in the middle. The skier or rider needs to be able to handle them all. Now, in terms of flexibility, the most important muscles for skiers and snowboarders to stretch regularly include the quadriceps, the hamstrings, calves, ankles, piriformis, and lower back. Now, agility in these winter sports is needed for the body to constantly adjust to your changes in direction, your changes in speed, and of course changes in whether you're upright or not. And this is doubly important for anyone who is spending time in the terrain park working on their 1440 triple cork. Now, the next thing to focus on is your aerobic and anaerobic fitness. Skiers and snowboarders should maintain a solid aerobic fitness level, but should also be able to go anaerobic when necessary. If you have solid cardiovascular fitness and muscular endurance, you will be able to stay on the hill longer and minimize your risk of injury due to fatigue. Some ways to build aerobic fitness in the non-snowy season are long, slow runs or bike rides, and in the winter you can choose to cross-country ski. These types of movements most resemble the changes in terrain that we see on the slopes. But skiing and snowboarding are also anaerobic activities and require short but intense bursts of energy with limited rest periods in between. So, high-intensity interval training can be very helpful in your training as well. You can try a combination of steady-state exercise, maintaining a consistent heart rate, and intervals alternating between high-intensity and low-intensity periods. This type of high-intensity interval training fitness allows the body to adapt quickly to constant changes in speed on different types of terrain. All right. Let's get into the exercises that you should focus on to build all these areas of your body. Before you start incorporating these exercises into your workout program, it is always best to warm up. You've heard me say it before, I know. 5 to 10 minutes is enough to get your blood flowing and your muscles warm. And you can check out a few articles over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com to find some great ways to warm up before you begin this workout. Now, okay, with that out of the way, here are some ski and snowboard exercises that you can start peppering into your hopefully already solid fitness plan. And the first exercise is squats. Your thighs, or your quads, are pretty much the hardest working muscle when you're heading down the slopes, and squats are one of the best ways of building strength and stamina in that part of your legs. Now, keep in mind that you don't have to head straight to doing squats with some heavy weights, especially if you're new or newly returned to this exercise. Start with just 3 to 5 sets of bodyweight squats to maximum burn, and then go from there. Now, the next exercise you can incorporate into your program is the dumbbell reverse lunge curl. Now, this is one of those multi-joint exercises that I am always hounding you to incorporate into your workouts. Now, to do this one, you stand with your feet hip-width apart with a dumbbell in each hand. Then you step, let's say, your right foot back into a lunge, and then bring the dumbbells up into a bicep curl. Then lower the dumbbells back down to your sides and stand up out of the lunge and back into a standing position. That is 1 rep. Now, the next exercise you'll want to add in is the squat jump. Now, not only is this exercise an excellent way to strengthen your legs, but it also helps to develop explosive springiness in the quads and glutes. It's not hard to imagine how this would come in handy when you're whipping down the hill. Now, start with your feet shoulder width apart and squat down so your thighs are parallel to the floor or even slightly lower. Then jump high into the air and let gravity do the rest. Now, here's a pro tip. Land as softly as you can and try to keep that momentum going back up into your next jump. And the next exercise is the single leg squat with cable row. Now, this is a great one for strength, balance, and agility. So to do this, and this is going to be a little hard to explain, but you can go look up a video somewhere. You stand in front of the cable machine at the gym, or you can use a resistance band at home, and you balance on one leg. Then hold the cable or the ends of your band with your arms extended in front of your chest. Then perform a 3/4 squat, and then as you stand up from your squat, row with one or both of your arms, engaging your shoulder blades and pulling your thumbs as close as you can to your armpits. Then reset and start again. And the next exercise is the low to high wood chopper. So, like I said, let's not forget the core. And this dynamic exercise works the obliques and upper abdominals while also getting your heart rate up pretty high. So pick up a dumbbell or a medicine ball, squat down and twist your body so you're holding the dumbbell on the outside of, let's say, your left leg and close to the floor. Then lift the weight diagonally across your body, ending with the dumbbell over your head and off to the right. Then bring it back down and start again. Now here's a pro tip. Move with a combination of control and power. Don't just use momentum to keep you swinging. And the next exercise is the mini band lateral walk. Now this will give you the hip stability you need to stay upright for longer on those slick slopes. To do this one, you tie a resistance band around your lower legs and stand with your feet about hip width apart, with your knees slightly bent. Now shift your weight onto your left foot and step out with your right foot, followed by your left. It's pretty much as easy as that, but if you need more explanation for this one, or you think you need more of this type of movement, well, check out my article about lateral movement over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. And the next exercise is a side lunge. For this one, you stand strong and well aligned with your feet hip width apart, then take a large step to one side into a lunge position, making sure that the bent knee is pointing forward and not extending past your toes. Pause for a second there and then push off the ground as explosively as you can and return to that starting position. Now, like the squat jumps that we did earlier, this will build strength and the rebounding strength to survive even the toughest moguls. And the next exercise is the plank. We use the core muscles, especially the lower back, a lot more than you think when you're skiing or snowboarding, especially when you're turning or taking on more challenging terrain. So almost any type of planking is going to work well for you. Front, side, rotation, any of them. And for some great info on planking, you can check out the article called How to Plank Like a Pro, again at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. And our second last exercise you should start incorporating is the push-up with lateral movement. Now this exercise will work your arm strength and core stability, both of which are essential when you're on the slopes. Assume a push-up or plank position with, you guessed it, your feet hip width apart, and do a push-up. Then step to the side with your left arm and your left leg, followed by your right arm and your right leg. Then do another push-up and move your body back in the other direction. And the final exercise I want to see you start incorporating is the stability ball plank knee drive. Now, this exercise is one of the most intense ones, and it's a great finisher for this workout. So you get into a push-up or plank position, but with your hands on a stability or a yoga ball. Then you alternate bringing each knee up to the ball while maintaining a nice flat back in the push-up position. Now, here's a pro tip. Bring your knees straight up to the ball or slightly off to the side, kind of like a mountain climber move. Or you can alternate between the two. This will increase the difficulty and the intensity on your core. Now to wrap things up, being specifically fit from doing exercises like the ones I just talked about makes hitting the slopes not only safer, but also more fun. With the right preparation, you can enjoy your day in the snow. You can stay safe, and you can also not worry about how sore that you're going to be in the next 24 to 48 hours. All right, Get Fit Guy is written, narrated, and produced by me, Brock Armstrong, with heavy lifting and editorial support from Joe Muscolino. Our Sprinting Social Community Manager is Morgan Ratner, our Endurance Advertising Manager is Michelle Margulis, and our head coach at Macmillan Audio is Kathy Doyle. Now, if you enjoy this podcast, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this podcast. And don't forget, you can join me at facebook.com/getfitguy or twitter.com/getfitguy or at my website, brockarmstrong.com. Now, what are you waiting for? Get out there and hit those slopes.